Welcome to The Explainer. We're diving straight into an incredibly explosive whistleblower dossier today. The source documents refer to this as the Gnostic Indictment. Now, it reads like a highly urgent sci-fi medical thriller, but the claim here is that this is happening right now, literally inside our bloodstreams. The documents outline an undeclared chemical war targeting a very specific, highly advanced piece of biological hardware right in the center of your brain. Think about this core premise for a second. What if the global power structure isn't just hiding ancient technology deep underground? What if they are actively, chemically cementing your brain's natural antenna shut? The sources allege a systemic, multi-generational chemical protocol designed to physically blind the human population to specific electromagnetic and acoustic frequencies. It's a concept they call the Calcification Protocol. Phase 1. The biological antenna. To grasp the sheer scale of this alleged attack, we have to talk about the hardware itself, the pineal gland. And the dossier insists we stop looking at the third eye as just some abstract spiritual metaphor. They introduce a very specific term, the Receiver Phenotype. According to the breakdown in these documents, the human body, specifically the pineal gland, has the biological capacity to act as a literal, tunable, field-connected antenna array. It's expressly designed to receive and process external electromagnetic information. And they back this up with hard science. The sources point to groundbreaking 1990s research by Dr. Sidney B. Lang at Ben Gurion University. His team confirmed the adult pineal gland isn't just soft tissue. It is packed with tiny, crystalline structures, calcite microcrystals, to be exact. These are tiny, ranging from 2 to 20 micrometers across. But the absolutely crucial part? They have proven piezoelectrical properties. They act as both electrical transducers and resonators. In plain English, when an external electromagnetic frequency hits them, these crystals physically vibrate and generate an electrical field right inside your head. You literally have a biological radio receiver in your brain. Phase 2. The 110 Hz Guardian Signal. So if we have a piezoelectric antenna up there, what exactly is it tuned to hear? 110 Hz. The sources place massive, undeniable emphasis on this specific number. They claim that ancient megalithic sites across the globe, from the subterranean temples of Egypt's Giza Plateau to the Hypogeum in Malta, were engineered for a singular purpose: to act as giant, psychoacoustic oscillators tuned perfectly to 110 Hz. The physics behind this are just fascinating. If you use the acoustic wave equation and divide the speed of sound, about 343 meters per second, by 110 Hz, you get an acoustic wavelength of roughly 3.12 meters. The source documents reveal that the interior dimensions of these ancient subterranean chambers are mathematically constructed as exact multiples of that 3.12-meter wavelength. They act as giant Helmholtz resonators. The stone architecture itself is literally forced to perfectly amplify this 110 Hz signal. But why go through all that massive effort to amplify a single tone? Well, the answer seems to lie in clinical data from neuroscientist Dr. Ian Cook's 2008 UCLA study. When subjects were exposed to a 110 Hz acoustic standing wave, their EEG and MRI results were wild. The frequency drastically suppresses the left temporal lobe, which is your brain's fear, ego, and anxiety center. At the exact same time, it hyperactivates the right hemisphere and the prefrontal cortex. The sources call this a state of heightened, coherent consciousness. So this 110 Hz signal basically acts like a physical override switch, lifting the human brain out of base survival mode and into profound, deep intuition. Phase 3, the chemical sabotage. According to the dossier, the global power structure realized they had a colossal problem on their hands. You have an entire population equipped with the biological hardware to easily tune in to this liberating frequency. So they initiated a countermeasure. I'm going to read directly from the source's damning accusation here. Water fluoridation is arguably the single most audacious, specific, and insidious vector of the Archonic War, a chemical warfare operation aimed with laser-like precision at the physical hardware of spiritual perception. The documents allege the 1940s public water fluoridation mandates were never about preventing tooth decay. It was a deliberate biological attack. To back up this terrifying chemical reality, the sources look at the actual chemistry of municipal fluoride. We're not talking about naturally occurring mineral fluorine here. The documents state that the substance pumped into the water supply is mostly hydrofluorosilicic acid. What is that? It's highly toxic, unpurified industrial waste scrubbed from the pollution smokestacks of the aluminum and phosphate fertilizer industries. So rather than spending billions to legally dispose of this hazardous liability, the dossier claims these industries collaborated with the state to rebrand it, turn a massive profit, and literally drip it straight into your drinking glass. Talk about the ultimate PR spin. Phase 4, the Calcification Protocol. Okay, so what actually happens when humans ingest this synthetic industrial byproduct? The critical link is Dr. Jennifer Luke's 1990s research out of the University of Surrey. She was the very first to scientifically prove that the primary site of fluoride accumulation in the human body is not your teeth and it's not your bones, it's the soft tissue of the pineal gland. You see, fluoride is incredibly reactive, and it mathematically seeks out calcium. And as we established earlier, the pineal gland is packed full of those dense calcite crystals. The dossier walks step by step through this precise biochemical process, describing it as a literal chemical lobotomy. Step 1. Humans ingest synthetic hydrofluorosilicic acid. Step 2. Those highly reactive fluoride ions are magnetically drawn straight to the calcium in the pineal gland. Step 3. The toxins bond directly with those delicate piezoelectric calcite microcrystals. And finally, Step 4. This bonding process creates a dense shell of hydroxyapatite. It chemically converts your soft, highly sensitive crystalline transceiver into useless, inert bone. The contrast here is just staggering. In its intended state, the human antenna, our third eye, is this soft, hypersensitive, crystalline radio transceiver, perfectly capable of tuning in to that 110 Hz guardian signal. But in its altered state, the state this whistleblower dossier claims was deliberately engineered, it's a dense, hardened rock. By chemically calcifying the gland, the population is systematically blinded to these electromagnetic and acoustic frequencies. It's a deliberate biological quarantine. Phase 5, the frequency quarantine. This brings everything into one unified theory of control for the dossier, a two-front frequency war. On the first front, the deep state uses deep underground military bases and nuclear subterraneans to physically melt the pre-Diluvian doors of ancient subterranean temples shut. They're actively suppressing the architectural amplification of the 110 Hz signal. But here's the kicker. They realized they couldn't possibly seal every ancient machine on Earth, so they opened the second front. Chemical warfare via water fluoridation targeting the human biological hardware itself. The ultimate goal? To maintain a localized frequency quarantine over the surface population. If you can't turn off the cosmic broadcast, you just chemically smash the receivers. Which leaves us with a truly chilling final question. Based on the urgent claims presented in this dossier, we have to ask ourselves, if the ancient 110 Hz guardian grid activates tomorrow, is your biological antenna too calcified to hear the signal? It's a provocative question, and it completely reframes how we look at public health, ancient history, and the very biology inside our own heads. Thanks for tuning into The Explainer. Keep questioning the consensus and stay curious out there.